Hi, my name is Gaz the Mini Painting Punk, and in this video I'm going to see if I can use this and this to make this. So this is Blue Stuff from Green Stuff World, bear with me. Blue Stuff is, as it says on the packet, a way to make easy reusable moulds. So I'm going to try and make a copy of this Humble Gretchen from the Warhammer 40k 2nd edition starter set from way back in 1993. I've chose this model because old models like this tend to be quite simple, and I hope it'll cast quite well. All we need to do with this is just pop it in some hot water for about 3 minutes. Apparently it works a little faster if you chop it up a little bit, so yeah, just chop it up, pop it in water and wait 3 minutes for it to soften. So after about 3 minutes, the blue stuff's all starting to stick together. It's gone nice and soft, which means it's ready for moulding. I've made a small structure out of Lego just to hold everything in place. This is really great for making moulds because you can build it to whatever size your model is, and yeah, it just holds everything nice and firmly in place. So once the blue stuff's in there, we just pop the Gretchen in and push him down about halfway into the mould. And what I do at this point as well is I just poked some holes in the mould, and this is just going to mean that the second piece is going to fall into those holes. It just makes everything easier to line up later on, so hopefully we won't get a wonky cast. Once that's done, we just let the bottom piece set a little bit before we put the top piece on, and yeah, and then we're ready for the next step. So after a couple of minutes, we're ready to put our top piece of mould on. Now I've just put this directly over the top of the one I've done here, but what I have found since is that if you build up another level of Lego bricks around it and then sink the top piece of blue stuff into that, everything will hold a little bit more firmly and you'll probably get a better result in the end. I'll show you what I mean when we do the big reveal at the end. Okay, so after about 10 minutes or so, it's time to remove the mould from the structure and take our model out. The two pieces stick together a little bit, but they generally, if you find the gap and carefully peel them apart, shouldn't have any problems. I've made a few moulds since this and I've never had anything rip or tear at this point. So once that's separated and we've got our original Gretchen out there, it's time to fill the mould and attempt to make our very first casting. There are a number of materials you can use for this. The one I have in abundance is trusty old green stuff. For anybody not aware, this material, it comes in these blue and yellow strips, and when it's mixed together it goes green, and then over a number of hours it will completely harden. So it's just a matter of mixing this and pressing it firmly into the mould. A little bit of a pro tip that I forgot about when doing this video is that the moulds are really good in that the green stuff doesn't stick to them, but it will try and stick to your fingers. If you wet your fingers a little bit while handling it, you won't get the same problems I did while doing this. So once that mould was firmly in place, I just needed to let the green stuff harden really. This stuff takes about 4 or 5 hours to fully cure, so I went and had a little lie down in the dark for 8 hours and stared into the void, and we will come check on this in the morning. Okay, so that's out of the Lego now, and it's the moment of truth. I'm recording this live because you can get my first impressions of it. Let's see how we've done. Okay. Looks like a Gretchen. Maybe a little bit too much green stuff. Let's try and peel the back out and see how we've done. Gretchen in the front, Gretchen in the back. Let's give it a quick clean up. So now that everything's cleaned up, we have successfully made one Gretchen into 2 Gretchens.
Holy shit, there's 2 of them.
So let's compare. The original Gretchen is obviously Country Mac, much better. I've lost a little bit of detail in the face. I think that is where I mentioned earlier, if I'd have built the Lego bricks up higher and pushed the mould in that way, I might have got a better result. I think I also used too much green stuff. I think you need to be fairly sparing with this, and I have been in mould since and they've come out a little better. But all in all, that's a perfectly serviceable Gretchen. Now, I did mention these are reusable moulds, so once you have finished casting as many copies of your mould as you wish, you can simply just put the blue stuff back in hot water, leave it for 3 minutes, and it will go soft again, and it is ready to use for your next casting. So, blue stuff, what's the verdict? Well, the model we made is pretty good. Certainly looks like a Gretchen. It's not as good as the original model. It's lost some of its detail. I think as I get to grips with it, and maybe try some different materials to cast out of, that will get better. In fact, I've already cast a few other things just using green stuff since then, and I've got some slightly better results. Still not as good as a professionally made model, and I don't think they will be. It's definitely the easiest and most accessible way I've come across to mold and cast parts and miniatures before. It's something I've avoided up until now because it seemed like a whole thing. So really pleased with it for that. Will I be casting hundreds of models? I don't think so. Will I stop buying things from bits websites to use some of the spare parts from kits and stuff? Probably not, but there are definitely some occasions where I might consider casting some pieces instead and saving me a little bit of money. I'll give you an example. So I recently came into a whole bunch of Sylvaneth models thanks to my Mortal Realms subscription, and thanks to a competition from the awesome folks at Warhammer Waterloo out of the Vapory in Liverpool. And one of the models was these awesome Tree Revenant guys. There's 2 build options in this box. You can build 5 Tree Revenants or 5 Spite Revenants. Now, for Age of Sigmar, I wanted to build all 5 Tree Revenants. But you can also use these in Warcry, and for Warcry, I want a mix of the 2 different types of units. So, rather than buying a whole other box or having a little scan through bits websites for parts that they may not have, I made a mold and did a simple recast of one of the body pieces, and using the extra parts from the kit, I have managed to make a Spike Revenant from a Warcry. Now this is not as good as the proper one at all. I have lost a bunch of detail at the back. I have lost all the little leaves here up at the top. This, I don't expect this to pass as an official model, and I'm not trying to have it pass as an official model, but for a friendly game of Warcry with my mates, I think this is great, and it's saved me a little bit of money. If I wanted the unit to pass and I wanted it to look proper, I would probably either buy another box or go to Bits websites and just pick up some extra bodies. But for this purpose, blue stuff and green stuff has worked really great. So yeah, that's my verdict on blue stuff. If you're interested in casting and moulding and have been a little bit intimidated like I have, then yeah, definitely worth a go. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you would like to help the channel, then giving this video a little like, comment, and hitting that subscribe button, they are all really easy ways you can help this channel more than you think. And if you want to help the channel a little bit more, there are a bunch of links down in the description of how to do that. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.